Hey, what's up, guys? It's Luke, and you're watching Luke the Gathering. Thanks for checking out the channel. Hey, Brothers War has been live for like, what, a week? 2 weeks? I forget, a week and a half. I'll just split it down the middle. But last Friday was the first, the first draft that I got to do at the local game store. Before that was the pre-release. So I guess maybe it is 2 weeks. But anyways, first time drafting, and I've been playing on Arena, and guess what? Arena has been kicking my butt. I've been doing so poorly. I don't know what it is with this format, but it is taking me a while to get used to these cards for whatever reason. Dominaria United, that wasn't too hard to get used to. I felt pretty comfortable right away. I'm finally just starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with Brothers War. And so I don't know if it's because I've been buying a lot of product, looking at the cards and getting more used to them or what, but I'm finally sort of getting that feel for the cards and the archetypes and what to do with the archetypes. So good news is I did go 2-1 at the draft. I was pretty proud of myself. I was like, my gosh, I was going to go 0-3. I was going to totally suck. That didn't happen, thankfully. Put together a deck that was blue and white, and I thought it did really well. Drafted some pretty good cards. We're going to check out the deck, and then at the end, I'm going to open up this promo pack that I got during the tournament. Now, this they gave to everybody, which was cool, and along with some other prizes, which was great. I love playing at the LGS. A lot of crazy stuff happening, sort of nowadays in the world of Magic. A lot of people saying Magic is dying. They had that 30th anniversary debacle happen just a day ago, and wow, so many crazy things happening. But I just want to play the game, and I want to collect the cards, and I just want to get into it. And so, I don't know. I don't like all this negative stuff that's happening. Hopefully, we'll be able to ride through it, and Magic will not be dead, and it'll come out in the end strong, at least I hope. Even if things fundamentally change, that's okay. I'm still a relatively new player. Other people might be like, I really want things to be the way they were. I don't know what they were before, so I don't have that much of comparison. I basically played in this overprinted age only, so maybe anything that changes could be better. That's my hope. I don't know. Cross fingers. Let's check out the deck. Right now it's blue and white. Let's see the cards. All right, starting off with Veterans Power Blade. I think this is an okay equipment. It costs 3 to put out there, but you know, we have Power Stones and other things that kind of help it get out. It equips for 2, but if you equip a soldier, it equips for just 1 white, which I think is pretty decent. And in this deck, I was going with flyers, so I was hoping that extra 2 damage a turn potentially would be really, really helpful. And I think it was. This card performed decently well in my deck. You know, you stick it on a flyer, they can't block it, and you're getting this extra 2 damage in. And with just 20, you know, life, 2 damage is like 10% of the life total. So pretty good in this particular deck. I do think if you don't have a lot of Power Stone support and things like this, this could be definitely a little bit overcosted, and you wouldn't really want this in your deck. But in this particular deck, I think it performed pretty well, so I was glad that I was able to grab this one. I've been actually hearing a lot about this Military Discipline card. It's just 1, you can flash it in, it's an aura. It gives a creature first strike, which will really oftentimes help it win battle, and then forever after that, getting +1/+0. Again, I like the little boost, especially, again, with flyers, and hopefully this aura can stick around longer than, you know, just immediately trading off with a creature afterwards. Here's a creature that I was hoping would do well. This, I think, would do well with the sword, giving it, you know, a 3/1 stat line with first strike. It's just a 1-drop. There are a lot of 1 toughness things in this set, so I thought it was okay. It wasn't the best, but it did all right. Thopter Mechanic, 2-drop, blue. Whenever you draw your second card, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on Thopter Mechanic. And when it dies into a Thopter artifact creature token with flying. So the second part was the really good part. When this died, got a flyer out of it. That was really nice. I don't think I ever got the +1/+1 counter, though, on this card. Scatter Ray, just kind of like a counter spell of sorts for artifacts and creatures. Pretty good for only 2 mana. The only problem is, if this is late game and everybody has like a ton of mana, people can just pay 4 to just kind of negate this effect. Excuse me. So, Scatter Ray I think it was good. I think it's good early game. I wouldn't run more than one of these. Take Flight, this is cool. It gives creatures flying. And you can also get +1. And then you get to draw a card when you start attacking. So many good things about this card. Again, even if they sort of get rid of you on a later turn, this card has already done what it's supposed to do. Just draw cards. Wing Commando is great. It's prowess. I really like that it flies. You play anything that's not a creature and gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Can deal pretty good damage. Air Marshal, again, cheap flyer. Not a flyer. It's not cheap, actually, to make it fly. But it's a cheap 2-drop, and it can make things fly, which can make a difference. It can make itself fly or any other human soldier. Disenchant, pretty big card for this set. They can put out like a 10/10. There's like that green 10/10. Someone actually played that against me. I ended up putting this in because of that. Ended up, drafting 2 of these. And if they're going to have these big artifacts, you can just wipe them with this one little 2-mana card. Kind of unfair after they put so much work into it. Power Stone Engineer. Solid. 2/1. Trades off and then turns into a Power Stone. Was able to get 2 of those. That was nice. Prison Sentence is great. It's kind of like a removal spell. And you get a Scry 2, which I think is really, really good. Scrying is a great. Deadly Repost does 3 damage, and you gain 2 life. Of course, that creature has to be tapped, but it's an instant, which is great. Instant speed is great. Aeronaut Cavalry, I think a little pricey, 4 and 1 white, but you get to put a +1/+1 counter on another target soldier when the thing ETBs. Phalanx Vanguard, I don't know what to think of this card. I mean, it's a 2-drop that I feel like you just end up trading off so often. Doesn't really do much more than that. I do like that it has Vigilance, but this is really like, I feel like just definitely a pawn in the deck. Ended up getting 2 Aeronaut Cavalries. Those are cool. Another Prison Sentence, that was great. Another Power Blade. I did put 2 in, so there we go. Takasia's Onulet. This is a 4/4 for 5. But when it leaves the battlefield, you gain 2 life, and you can unearth it to deal that 4 more damage. Kind of nice. The Thopter, flying, can unearth again to do 2 more damage. Scrapwork Cohort. When it comes into play, you get a soldier token. That's really nice. Then you can unearth it and get another soldier token and still, get in there for 3. Now, I did put Tower Worker, Mine Worker, and Power Plant Worker all into this deck. And I actually got all these guys in with their big brother, Autonomous Assembler. It was pretty nuts. I felt like I almost couldn't lose if you had all these guys out. This guy was giving you 3 colorless. This guy was gaining you 3 life. This guy was getting +2/+2 counters. And this could give counters and vigilance. It's just really good. At first I was like, is this going to work, having all these assembly things? I actually ended up getting them all. And it worked. It was really, really nice. Them all together was a hard thing for my opponent. But maybe the hardest thing for the opponent to deal with in the trenches. Oh my gosh. It's just an anthem for all your creatures, giving them all +1/+1. This was awesome to have. It only costs 2 white and 1. And then it's also can exile permanents, 1 permanent in the game underneath it. And that's good enough. Like, you get rid of their biggest threats. That way, plus buffing all your guys. I wish I could have this card every single time. And lastly, we had the Might Stone and the Weak Stone. This was great too. There was 2 cards I really wanted. It was this one, and it was the blue-white gold card that is another Anthem effect. But I took this one. This one helps you get 2 mana. You can draw cards with it. When it ETBs, you can basically remove something because it gives something -5/-5 till end of turn, which can kill most things. So this was also a really, really nice pickup. So overall, the deck did really, really well. Again, I said I went 2 and 1. and I was pretty excited about that. Alright, that being said, let's check out the promo pack. Everybody got one of these. So, for our Brothers War card, we got Misery's Shadow. It says if a creature an opponent controls will die, it gets exiled instead. And then you can pay 1 to give Misery Shadow +1/+1 till end of turn. Looks like there's no limit on that either, so you can just keep pumping it up, which would be Misery for your opponent. So that's kind of cool. We also have Flow of Knowledge. Draw a card for each island you control, then discard 2 cards. And then for our next one, we have a Shipwreck Marsh from Midnight Hunt. And this enters tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. So there you have it. And here's a code in case anyone needs it. But there we go. Can't wait for the next draft to begin. Should be a lot of fun. Thanks for watching this. I'll see you next time.